Greetings, beloved. Welcome to this MelVee marriage testimony. We're really focusing on what will it take to preserve our marriages in these end times. We thank you for watching MelVee Broadcasting Network. We're a divine voice out of Africa. We're so privileged to be able to be working in the Lord's vineyard in these last days. You'll agree with me, my friends, that there are institutions that are under attack in our days. And marriage is one of those. I've always told you in the previous episodes that there are two gifts, two presents, two institutions that God gave to the family. When they left the Garden of Eden, God made them live with their marriage intact. God made them live with the Sabbath. And those two institutions have been the subject of the devil's attack. I shared with you, my friends, in the other previous clip, that marriage was God's idea, the only institution that He set in this world to run the whole universe. And that out of that family were to come children, were to come nations, and were to come generations of God-fearing children. So the family is God's idea. He's the only one who can tell us how to start it, how to run it, and how to dissolve it if it is to dissolve. And so, my friends, I also told you that marriage is that institution that shows us in our human form the relationship between Christ and the church. And therefore, I want to speak to our friends, anyone who wants to start a marriage, anyone who's in marriage, anyone who has challenges with marriages. I'm hoping this testimony will help you because I've got specialists that we brought in today. I say specialists because they have been out there. They have bought the t-shirt of marriage. They have worn it. Now it's torn. They can tell you all about it. I'm talking about Dr. Mabel Radebe-Rapitsi and Phines Rapitsi. Greetings and welcome.
Greetings.
Thank you so much, Muruti. Nice to have you. Please greet our viewers out there.
We're sitting here this afternoon with you as an audience.
Yes.
We thank you very much for having this special, very special time to can together interact and share experiences of life in marital situation, and it is indeed a privilege that we still hold on the thus said the Lord when it comes to marital issues.
Yes,
and it has not changed since the inception of this special, very special institution, instituted by God Himself. And so we are hoping that we are not doing vice versa, the different things that are not original, and we are here to share. And may the Lord continue to bless us in Jesus' name.
Amen. I almost was tempted to give him the pulpit. To our viewers out there, he's a pastor, over 40 years of pastoral marriage counseling and bringing or establishing new families. So we're really looking forward to a great discussion with you, Phines. And Mabel.
I greet you all viewers there, and I'm glad to be here, and I hope you will enjoy the discussion that we will have.
Great stuff. Now, I looked at your profiles and I was like, wow, these guys have walked a very interesting marriage journey. And because we're talking about marriage, we really value our stories. Because I always tell our viewers out there that if there's anything that showcases the power of God, it is our testimonies and our stories. Now, today I'm so privileged and I count it a great joy because you're not only going to tell us about your story, but you're also going to counsel our viewers out there. Because both of you, I was looking at your profiles, you've got over 40 years of counseling. I mean, you are a professional counselor. You teach on these things. You are a counseling psychologist. He's a pastor. So I'm really looking forward to this discussion in terms of how do we establish marriages and how do we keep them strong and vibrant? And should we face any challenges, how do we navigate them? So maybe let me begin with you, your life, your story. how has the Lord led you thus far? And how did you meet this nice young man sitting next to you?
Yeah. The greatness of the Lord or the power of God, I can trace it from my childhood.
Okay.
I am a last-born twin of 8 children.
Wow.
And
so there are 8 children and you are part of the last.
We are twins.
Last-borns are
last-born
twins. Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
And if you are a last-born of 8 children, by the time you grow up, there are a lot of struggles. The older children have finished all the money, and you struggle, you know. But God has been very gracious, because as I was growing up, the older ones were able to take care of us, the younger ones.
Right.
Like, for instance, when I went to Bethel College, it was my brother who was now paying my school fees and taking care of me and all that, right up to university.
Okay.
Yeah. So then in adulthood, I think I need to now move to our marriage.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I was married. That's why I have Radebe-Rapitsi. I was married before, and this is my second marriage.
All right.
Radebe has long slept. Yeah.
He slept in the Lord.
Yes.
How many years were you married to Radebe?
19 years.
Wow.
19 years. And we have two children. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have 2 children.
Mm-hmm. They must be adults now.
Yes, they are adults. Mm-hmm. They are adults.
All right.
And fortunately, by God's grace, they are still in the church.
Amen.
Yeah.
Great.
So I was single for a long time. Mm-hmm. I think I was single for over 10 years.
Okay.
I just told myself I'm okay. And I enjoyed my single life.
All right.
I really enjoyed it.
All right.
And I didn't see a possibility of remarriage.
Okay.
Yes, because most of the people that I met were not Christians or Adventists. So I just said, it's out. Until God brought this wonderful man. Man.
We're going to talk about him in a moment.
Yeah.
But at what age did you become widowed?
40.
In your 40s?
Yes, in my 40s.
Right.
Yes.
Right when you think that life is now beginning to rock, as we say, life begins in the 40s.
Yes.
Then you face up this huge life challenge of losing a spouse. So he comes along after 10 years. Now, there's a lot I'm hoping time doesn't allow us for now, my viewers, but I would have wanted to you to walk us through those 10 years, some of the coping strategies, the challenges you faced, and the issues that you went through.
Yes. The challenges that I faced as a single parent basically were financial problems, because then that was the child when the children were going to school, universities, and all that. And at times you just don't know what to do, and you wish there was somebody who would share those challenges with you. And then another one was loneliness. Yeah, though I enjoyed being single, I enjoyed just controlling my life with nobody saying, don't do this, why are you coming late? And I enjoyed it. But there would be times when I would miss a companion.
Yes.
I would, especially at night, I wish there could be somebody I can talk to. Everybody, people are in their bedrooms and you are all by yourself, and you are thinking, and I wish there was somebody I could talk to. At times you are discouraged. You wish there was somebody who can just encourage you.
Yeah.
And at times you just want to check something, or talk about your experiences with some other people.
Yes.
And then you have a confidante that you can share those discussions.
Yeah.
So there were challenges as well as advantages.
All right.
Yeah, advantages. I was in control of my life. I was controlling my money.
Yes.
I would go where I want to go. Like just plan to go to general conference.
All right.
And
all right.
So I enjoyed that.
So how did he come into the picture? Maybe let me hold you there, Mfundisi.
Yep.
She was in control of her life, single parent. You were busy with the ministry, I'm sure, at that time. But how did your eye catch her? How did you get to meet her?
By God's grace,
All right.
I happened to be a pastor where she was working, was lecturing.
All right.
That is in Limpopo University of the North. That's where she has been before we met. And I was a pastor in that particular area.
I see.
And then I was still, we happened to know each other then.
Okay.
Whilst my wife was still alive. That's the time we met.
All right.
And thereafter, after the death of my wife, it is important to share this part of journeying in my life before I could really venture into the relationship that we had.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been serving at the time in Mpumalanga Lowveld.
Okay.
My wife was a professional nurse, a sister in nursing. Unfortunately, she got ill, and that was the attack of cancer.
I see.
She had the pancreatic cancer. It took her 18 months.
Wow.
It was so bad.
So you went for almost close to 2 years.
Yes.
Nursing her and helping her.
Yes.
And then finally she rested.
Yeah, we're far away from home, 500 kilometers away from the rest of the family members.
Wow.
Then eventually we were transferred back home in Polokwane. That's where I come from.
Yes.
We had a house there in Tefluop. That's the area where was born.
All right.
And we stayed there for about 5 months, and then she died later on.
Oh, okay. So after she died, how long did you stay single?
Yeah, after having buried her, I stayed 6 years single.
All right.
With 3 kids.
And you were still in the pastoral ministry?
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
How did you navigate that time? How did you find that space? What are some of the challenges? And in fact, the challenges you faced, I can tell from the time you were with her, you had to be available 24/7 to assist her.
Yeah.
And then how did the death and the transition into a single man, at what age were you at, and what are some of the challenges you faced?
I was about 52 years.
Okay.
From there, I had a problem with children.
All right.
I had 2 boys and a girl.
Okay.
The eldest was 19.
At the time of the mother's
He
death?
died, yeah.
Okay.
And the one in the middle, the girl was 14, and the last one was 11.
Wow.
It was very difficult.
Wow.
To have them close here. But then, fortunately, they didn't desert me. They never left me alone. But I struggled with them. And then from Polokwane, I was transferred to MelVee. That's where I actually get struggled with 2 things. One, it was not easy to manage loneliness. It was very difficult.
Wow.
But by God's grace, I couldn't. I was fortunate not to move from one woman to another because already we had met.
All right. So thereafter, you knew each other.
Yeah, we had met and we would actually interact.
All right.
And from there, in the meantime, she hold her horses. She would not want to rush.
So I think you've jumped something there, Mruti.
Yeah.
Maybe let me just nail it right there.
Yeah.
So you knew each other, because there are young people who are listening out there, and there are some couples or men or women who are in your situation.
Yes.
Who want to understand, how do I go about it?
Yeah.
They might be widowed. So you are widowed, she is widowed, you know each other. Yeah. When did the love start, and how did you begin to say, I think I want to settle down with her? I want you, don't preach now. Yeah. I want you to just give us the basics. Okay? I saw her. What happened when you saw her? How did it get into your mind? Remember, this is a marriage testimony. Yeah. We're trying to help our young people on how to go about doing these things.
In 2000, for my wife passed on in 2000, in April. I had the privilege to actually join those who were actually wanted to have an experience in the general conference, and she was there.
All right.
She She was coming from Joburg and I was coming from the north. And we met.
Right.
We were traveling together from place to place to New York. And
so you
and
went
so
for GC and you found love.
Yeah. Yeah. But she was not ready for that.
All right.
Yeah, she knew my wife had just passed on.
Yes.
But she was not interested.
Okay.
But I had to make a follow-up.
Mm-hmm.
I made a follow-up. It took me time. And she welcomed my proposal. But she said, don't rush into this thing.
All right.
I'm not aiming at anything. Let's see.
Right.
Yeah, don't rush.
All right.
Then I waited for 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah. I could not make a mistake of actually trying someone else, but waited upon her promises. And
you must have loved
yes
to wait that long.
And we were far apart from each other. Joburg,
right.
Mafikeng is a distance of 350
kilometers. Yeah, very far.
So and one of the challenges is that some women, very beautiful women in Mafikeng.
Yes.
Tswanas can be.
But Tswanas,
yeah,
I know them. Very light, very charming.
They were charming, and
our sisters out there,
yeah.
Thank you for making an impression.
Even some ladies, Dorcas ladies,
yes,
would really come, and some gentlemen would actually tout around and say, hey, but you can't stay alone.
Yes.
There are women around. I said, I am engaged. And I was not engaged then. And they would try their best.
Wow.
To really charm me around and make sure I succumb to their proposal. Of course, it was not verbal. But in communication, we speak of verbal communication and non-verbal.
Yeah. They'll give you the cues.
Yeah, non-verbal was very, very strong.
Yeah.
The invitation in their homes and so on.
Yes.
And sometimes they would come where I am and I had children. But by God's grace, I hold horses.
Wow.
I'm a horse.
Yes.
They used to call me passionately.
All right.
Horse.
All right.
The horse, yeah.
Yes.
Rapids. So I really hold my horses.
You held your horses, yes.
Yeah, so that they don't gallop beyond
your expectations.
Yeah, then I had to really wait until such time we got married. The very same church married us.
Wow.
They threw a very big party within the mission house there. Yeah, because to be challenged to tell the story.
Yes.
My in-laws were there and everyone else was there.
Wow.
And I had to really say to the open, said, I've been here for 5 years. I never touched your daughters, you guys. I was waiting for what the Lord will provide for me. I never did anything. I never messed up your wives, you guys.
Wow.
And they couldn't respond to
They couldn't disagree because...
They did not, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because...
So here you are, you get married... I'm sure it's a great expectation.
Yeah.
Which year was this?
We got married in
2005.
2005.
Yeah.
We could say you are a blended family.
Yes.
Because you've got your children, he has his children.
Yes.
How has that journey been since then? Or maybe before I even get to that journey, I want to come back to you. What made you concede to say, let me change my lifestyle and then accept this man finally?
All along, first of all, I delayed the whole process because I wanted him to heal first. I didn't want to get seriously involved when he was still grieving. And I could see that he's taking a long time. He was really attached to his wife. So, when I realized that no, he's better now, he has healed. And what attracted me to really concede was his personality. Yeah.
He's the horse.
Yes. I experienced him as a very warm person,
yes.
a responsible person, and very funny. He can be very funny. And he used to keep me laughing most of the time.
All right.
Because of some of the things he would say or some of the things he would do.
Yeah.
And above all, I liked him because he was and he is still a God-fearing man. And at that time, to me, that was very important.
Yeah.
That's why earlier on, I never thought I would get married because I was just running away from such things. But then when I met him, I said, here's a God-fearing person. And I can, my life can really change for the good.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
And
Great.
we used to talk about the Bible, and what impressed me was the way he knew the Bible. He would quote verses.
Wow.
You say this verse, he'll tell you it's Matthew 24 verse 5. And then you say this, he said
Wow.
Revelation 14. And I said, hey, I'm going to grow here. I'm really
Yes.
going to grow here. I will also know the Bible.
Yeah.
And he is still a predictable person. Yeah, you know what to expect.
All right.
Yeah.
Great stuff. So let's maybe wrap up this segment by talking about experiences now, perhaps lessons that our viewers out there would really treasure a lot from your story. I think listening to you, it is possible to lose your loved one. I think life as we know it will give you that. But what are some of the lessons you've learned in all these years, both in your time of loss, the time of sickness, and especially now, after your marriage? How has this marriage been? And I'm quite interested in some of the lessons you've learned and some of the things you would recommend to other blended families that might be watching out there. So maybe let's start with Mfundisi. Your lessons from the experiences you've gone through.
It is not easy to manage bruised emotions.
Okay.
Yeah, you keep on falling back to where you have been. It's not easy. And you begin to do comparison and contrast of the past.
Okay.
Instead of calling her name, I call
the late wife's
said,
name.
I am not a mission. That is my and it took time.
All right.
Even this morning I was saying, I wonder if she heard me. I said, Malta, calling me Malta.
That's your late wife.
I'm sorry. It's good if she did not hear that.
Wow.
Yes.
Yes.
Because it's hard to let go of the past. It's the subconscious mind.
Yeah.
The subconscious mind keeps that.
Okay.
And those are the challenges that I have. One other thing is to keep on, she doesn't know that because I don't share it, keep on comparing the manner in which she prepare her food stuff with the previous.
All right.
Yeah. With
you are still looking for that old.
I said, hey, but with this dish,
with
this particular dish, she was excelling.
Yes.
But I would not say that to her. It's a struggle.
It's like what men we often do. We compare our wives' cooking to our mothers' cooking.
Yes.
So in your case, you keep going from the previous to this one. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other challenges?
One other good other challenge is it's to have these children solely welcoming her as a mother. She could not, under normal circumstances, replace her mother, their mother.
Yes.
Now I would try innocently to say, this is your mother. They said, no, it's your wife.
Wow.
And they would, it was your wife, and never call her mother.
All right.
It is difficult.
Yes.
It's only in recent days that things are waking out.
It takes time, isn't it?
Yeah, it takes time. It's 15 years now together.
Yeah.
It's a very big challenge. One other challenge is this, that I would leave her behind and go to my children.
Okay.
Unconscious, unaware.
When you're visiting your children.
It would not be a planned thing to sabotage her in that way. It's a big sabotage, by the way.
Okay.
Because I'm supposed to be carrying her along with me wherever I go, whenever I visit.
Yes.
But it was not a planned thing that would make her get hurt about that. But she would be resilient and long-suffering over that and call me time and time again.
But when you leave her behind, what was in your mind? Was it because you were trying to protect her from the expression of those sentiments you said from children? Or because there are people out there, and I've interviewed another couple before who mentioned a similar thing.
Yeah.
That it's always difficult to deal with those children issues whenever there's a blended family.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it would not be a planned thing to say, I leave her here, I'm going to my children. I would be somewhere doing my chores, the work out there, and I would calculate home and where they live. I'll just say, hey, let me just drive
Pass by.
say bye-bye,
Yeah.
of which is an anomaly. You would not do that in normal circumstances.
Yeah.
I was supposed
Yeah.
to be the one taking her along, which each time I go to visit them, so that they get used to her. It was a very big struggle.
Yeah.
It's a very, very big struggle. But she could not be quiet about it. She
Yes.
would call me and said, hey, please,
Yes.
take care.
Yes.
You have taken me from my home to your house.
Yeah.
You don't do this because it's not going to work. And I would say yes, and they even cry.
Yeah.
Because it was not deliberate.
Yes.
It was not planned that she be hurt, continue to hurt her with this. And I am happy because to confess, to say, I have learned a lesson.
That's it.
Because eventually she had to come up with a book, Blended Family.
Yes.
Successful Blended Family.
Yes.
It emanates from that experience. And I read that book time and time again. Sometimes I do it when she's not even aware I'm reading.
Because you are part of that story.
Yeah. So those are the challenges.
Wow.
So far, the Lord has been very kind. We work, we travel the journey together. Hence I say already we are 15 years together.
Wow. That's it.
And I'm happy that she loved my children. She would go all out to just want to show me that she really would love to groom them and make them comfortable. And I'm happy about that. Probably I would not say that to her, but I'm saying it in your hearing.
Yes, now the whole world can hear that you
really
are happy.
loved the children. If not, she
Yes.
would not even want to hear a thing about them.
Yes.
And that's not the case, in spite of challenges that we are encountering together.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So Mabel, you've been married now. She's been sharing with us the 15 years together. What are some of the challenges you think you have faced, and maybe some of the lessons you think you've learned? And someone might be watching out there and wanting to learn from your very interesting and exciting story of finding love twice in your lifetime. So what are some of the lessons you want to share from your own personal story?
First of all, I want to say it's not easy. It's not easy to get into a blended family.
All right.
But when you are in love and you are thinking of committing to each other, you think it's easy. It's like, when you marry for the first time when children are not there. But here, when you marry for the second time when children are there, it's not easy. Particularly because the process of blending is not easy. So in my experience, it was not easy for my children. My children were very possessive. They were very possessive. They just couldn't understand what I'm trying to do. They kept on saying, why are you getting married?
They couldn't see someone replacing their father.
Yes.
And also after 10 years of being with you.
Yes.
So they really had bonded so much to you.
Yes. So they just didn't want somebody who's taking me away from them.
Yeah.
So it was a struggle. The relationship was a bit tense. Yeah. And then when the relationship is tense, at times you think they don't want the man, yet it's not that. They're just possessive. They just want their mother here. And again, it's that when you get married as a woman, you are taken away from your family.
Yes.
You even leave you change your name and take the surname of the new family. So it's really living, and those remaining behind feel abandoned.
Okay.
Yeah. So those are early challenges. But with time, they heal, because for them, when I move away, it's a loss. And then with time, they heal and they become comfortable with the whole thing.
All right.
But then the challenges that I met when we started a family was the problem of bonding.
Okay.
Yeah. When I came in when he had a very strong relationship with his children. And as he's saying, he spends 5 years or 6 years alone with them.
All right.
So the bond was extremely strong.
Yeah.
And I didn't have an opportunity to come in. I was always an outsider.
All right.
Yes, it's these people.
Yes.
As he's saying, at times he would leave me and go there and all that. So the bond was very strong. And then our bond was then weak. We started with a weak bond.
All right.
And I was struggling. You know, when you start with a weak bond, you wonder whether you are loved or not. And you often feel his children come first.
All right.
And you often feel he even forgets about me.
Like you were saying, you would visit them and
Exactly.
Yes.
So the bond could not be as strong as it should be. You know, in the first marriage, you have time together.
Yeah.
If it's not a blended family, you have time together before the arrival of the children.
Yes.
And you can bond and you are together. By the time they arrive, the relationship is very strong.
Yeah.
And you feel comfortable and you welcome them. But here, the relationship is weak when it comes to family. But when we were out there, it was strong.
Yeah.
But when it comes to family,
yes,
our bond was weak. So what was necessary was for him to realize that and try to balance. In other words, loosen the strong bond and strengthen this one so that both bonds balance and everybody's happy in the family.
Yeah.
And it has been a big struggle for him to do that. But with God's grace, we are getting there.
Wonderful.
We are getting there.
So for those who are considering blended families, you've had the issues, communication comes out quite strongly.
Yes.
If there are children that exist, they become another very key consideration when you're getting into your relationship. But obviously you're looking for a partner, you're looking for a companion, you're looking to deal with your loneliness. And so they've offered us some very exciting opportunities that I'm sure someone out there might have learned from this. Now, we're closing this segment, but before I do, maybe one last word of counsel, Mfundisi. You are a marriage officer.
Yeah.
You also have had to deal with 2 marriages and finding love twice as well. What is your last word from the Lord you want to share?
The counsel would be, so long as you still have your childhood, your youth, a spouse, take care of that person.
While they are still alive.
Take care, love that person. Learn to listen.
Okay.
Because particularly this message goes to gentlemen.
Yes.
Gentlemen don't want to listen. They are not prepared to listen. Listen. And the effective listening goes with questioning.
Okay.
Whenever you do your communication.
Yes.
Don't jump into the decisions.
Yes.
Before you would have asked questions as we interact.
To confirm for real that this is what they are saying.
Correct, because that's where problems start. It brood around communication.
Yes.
Listen, so that at the end you love the person as she or he is. She is. He is, and embrace her weaknesses.
Yes.
To ladies, please make sure that you respect this gentleman. So says the Bible.
Yes.
You have to be humbled enough by being given the privilege to have this gentleman in your life. The Bible says the gentlemen love your wives.
Yes.
Wives, women, submit.
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you are not forced to do so. It happens out of love. As much as you love Jesus,
yes,
and it was not done by the gunpoint, it is by the love that is being shared to you by the Spirit of the Lord.
Yes.
Do so to this man. So it is with gentlemen.
Yes.
take care of this woman.
Yes.
Never try something else secretly. Because it is a privilege to have this person in your life still alive.
Absolutely.
Allow chances where she will not be there. Then we would understand the value of this person's life.
Yeah.
But learn to value whatever it is that this gentleman is doing. Make sure that you compliment your spouse, the good work she is doing.
Thank you so much. Mabel, I want you to speak to our young ladies out there. Some are divorced, some are single by divorce or by death. In your case. What is the counsel you want to give them, particularly saying that we are now living in the end times? Particularly saying that God is very particular when it comes to marriage. And that while they might be carrying this burden of pain and loss and loneliness, what is the message you'd want to give to our viewers out there as we close?
I want to say to the viewers that God comes first. God comes first. Everything has to be according to the will of God. If it's God's will that you remain single, one has to accept that. But if it is God's will that one day you get married, that will happen. If you trust God and you trust God according to His will, things have to happen according to His will. I want to say marriage is good. Remarriage is also good. Is good as long as it is God-centered. And what is important with marriage and remarriage is preparation. Preparation, because there are challenges, and it is those challenges that often make people think marriage is bad.
Yes.
Marriage is to be avoided. And those who have lost their spouses and say, I will never get married again, I'll never, because of these problems. No, it is good. Challenges will be there, but we need to be able to deal with those challenges.
Yes.
And we don't have to store them until they multiply and become so big to a point where you then have to consider divorce. Deal with challenges. Conflict resolution is important. Communication is important, as it has been pointed out. But above all, let's remember Psalms 127. Psalms 127, which says, unless the house is built by God,
unless the Lord builds,
unless the Lord builds the house, those who labor, those who build it, they labor in vain.
Or if the Lord doesn't watch the city, those who watch it will watch in vain.
In vain. So then that means that if you plan to get a partner to remarry, consult God. Talk to Him about your wishes, and He will bring the right partner. He will bring the right partner along your way. And again, when it comes to parenting, step parenting is also a challenge, and it is God who helps you deal with those challenges.
Great. To our viewers out there, this has been a testimony by Dr. Mabel Radebe-Rapitsi and Pastor Phines Rapitsi. I hope you enjoyed this. Please do remember to subscribe. Do remember to follow this channel. And God bless you. See you on the next episode.